Ahoy, every nerds, and welcome to the Sea of Souls, our live stream D&D campaign brought to you by the Elder Brain. We are the Elder Brain, and we are here to play some D&D and just hang out and be nerds and do other nerdy stuff because we'd like to do that. So thank you for joining us. If it's your first time, then welcome. Glad to have you aboard. If you are returning, then thanks for coming back, and glad we didn't scare you away. Yeah. That's good. We like that. Anyways, check out all of our socials. You can find us our link on the link tree there that kind of takes you to all the different things that we have to offer. Our Twitter, we've got a YouTube, we've got a Podbean, all that stuff, and brand new, launching right now, we have a Discord server. So if you want to hang out with us and chat D&D and I mean, I'm sure there's going to be other stuff, memes.
Suggest sea shanties.
Just, yeah. I mean, we probably could do
come join and tell us how we're misusing the rules to our faces personally.
Oh, yeah.
I am sure there are some I am unaware of at the moment.
Yes. But yes, please do join us.
Actually.
Tell us all the rules that we're breaking. Yeah. No, but come join our Discord if you want to hang out with some other D&D and RPG peoples. And we can chat episode stuff. We can chat possibly some things that are coming up in the future. It'll be a place for us to basically just connect with you kind of on a more personal level. We've had a pretty interesting chat going on the past little bit here. And we'd like to kind of keep that liveliness and that interaction going as we move forward. So please, if you feel so inclined and if Discord is your thing, join our server, come hang out, and we'll be happy to see you there and chat about the Sea of Souls and other things. So do that. If you are on Twitter, we have been doing our hashtag swashbucklevember. That is the name that we decided on, the swashbucklevember. But you can find us on the Twitter, and basically we're just offering up some homebrew items and spells and encounters and traps and all kinds of different stuff. So feel free to take anything that you find on that we've offered there and kind of plop it into your own game or hang on to it for your own reasons and enjoy. And hopefully they serve you well. And of course, there's going to be puns there. Even if somebody who knows me for a very long time didn't expect the puns.
I am not.
Didn't see them coming. There are puns because there just are. But yeah, so check that out as well. We're into day 22. We've been doing the whole month of November. We'll keep going to the end of November. And so we've got a spell, a kind of fun one that Mike put together that we thrown up there for today. So check that out. And if you have checked those out, let us know what you think. Are these homebrew items like, hey, these are awesome, or that's the worst piece of crap I've ever seen in my life?
Maybe say it kinder than that.
Maybe say
somewhere in
kinder
between,
than that.
you know?
Or somewhere
the
in between.
second worst.
Everyone tell me
the second worst.
How my wand is broken.
Yeah, uber powered. But yeah, feedback is always appreciated. And who knows, some of the stuff that we've thrown up there might work its way into the campaign guide that is painstakingly in process and will happen. It will eventually. But yeah, we'd love to hear your feedback on all of that stuff. I think that is all I have to announce / mention. So we can do our recap, get us up to speed for our Sea of Souls campaign. So last time, as our 4 crew members of the Radiant Dawn continued their voyage fairly northward from Porto de Ares towards the Ivory Port, passing through the archipelago, pretty much the only way through this section, the main traveled trade route. Found it odd that everything around them was quiet. Rested on an island that seemed to be now void of life. No birds, no bugs. Everything seems to have grown silent. And as they continued on their voyage towards the old ruins where they'd previously been assaulted by tentacles and a toothy, gaping mouth of a creature beneath the waves, That eerie silence continued until they reached said ruins. And two of our crew were greeted by the telepathic voice of whatever essence occupies the heart of the Sea of Souls. Something calling itself the 13th ending.
Yeah.
Nothing nefarious in that at all. The ship was then assaulted by more tentacles rising once more. And the creature itself, large teeth, gaping hole of a mouth, almost looks like it able to swallow ship's whole, made an appearance. And as it broke free of the waves and the ship without winds, with a little bit of help from Talon giving some gusts to try and push it forward, as the ship slowly worked its way out of the reach of this monstrous entity, arcane blasts from the direction of the tower came and assaulted the creature, holding it at bay long enough for the ship to pass by. And after it did so, the creature blocked the passage by smashing the ruins and smashing the rocks around, basically using its massive tentacles to bring everything caving in and blocking off this section of the sea. And we pick up as the Radiant Dawn is now on the other side of the ruins, with the Ivory Spire port not quite in view yet, but not far off the horizon. Gentlemen, you're feeling a little bit ragged and roughed up from that, but you have escaped the creature's grasp for now. You find yourself once more in the Sea of Souls, the water of which is dark, murky, unnaturally so. That fog, ever-present fog, seems to still linger, drifting in unnatural patterns, sometimes against whatever breeze there is, or even without a breeze, moving on its own.
Torque is just going to sidle up to Talon. You certainly ran your mouth of that thing when it spoke in our heads.
Sometimes the best way to keep someone else talking is to talk at them. It gives them this almost uncontrollable urge to make you want to shut up.
It was good. I think we got a lot of valuable information out of that. Claps him on the back.
Yeah. Yeah. Information that isn't super helpful right now, though.
I mean, not for now, but it gives us a jumping off point when we speak to these wizards in the Ivory Spire.
Not sure what this thing wants with us other than you.
In my experience, it could simply be a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I'm pretty good at that.
I've noticed.
Recognized us from last time.
Yeah, we probably did annoy it quite a bit. You think that was that thing that was talking to us?
It seems likely.
Well, it's not every day you get to have a conversation with a bunch of suckers.
And don't press your luck.
So speaking of hiring crew,
I've been holding on to that one for a week.
Just glad it wasn't two.
All right.
Yes, we were hiring a bunch of orphans and urchins. Yes. I remember this conversation before everything.
We will be doing nothing of the sort. And I feel like we may have to put that on the back burner as is, as I imagine that our rescuers will be expecting a full debriefing. You know how it is with wizards. All
right, let's make sure we get our story straight.
Well, I'm wondering, did they even know we was there? Or did they just see the thing and just shot at it because it was like 50 feet out of the water?
Well,
that's a fair question.
We are probably the first vessel to make it through this channel in one piece in quite a while, which will probably raise some questions on its own, regardless of whether or not they saw us in this particular moment.
That is a fair point.
I mean, we are pretty awesome, but I don't know whether we drew that much attention. That's all.
Other possibility is that they've just been scrying on that creature for so long that they might know we're here just by proximity of that thing.
Yeah, more just
Follow-up question. If they have the kind of power to just attack it like that, why haven't they done something about it if they're aware of its existence?
because they're waiting for
Maybe they
scrubs
can't.
like us.
Maybe.
Okay,
Their
okay.
man-
Let's
or
start
maybe their
placing.
man-
We're gonna place bets now. How much you want to bet? We go talk to those wizards, and they're gonna try and get us to deal with it.
Perhaps their magic can't kill it, only distract it.
Yeah.
But at least put a sign up or something. Warning:
Unless-
large amount of suckers. No, not that kind.
Well, you did notice that we were the only ship on that route this time. It's
We're the only
possible they've
ship
already...
for miles around.
Exactly. Maybe they've already shut down the shipping route and we're just the ones that got caught without the notice.
The fact that we didn't know just proves that they're not doing a good enough job.
Well, be sure to lodge a complaint when we make landfall then.
Just
I
lodge
think I
that complaint
will.
far away from the rest of us.
Hey, are we gonna have to run into that really diminutive gnome person again?
I would imagine so.
I want to
There's
complain to
a
him
distinct
directly.
possibility.
Shoot, what was the gnome's name again?
Five curses and spite.
I have Thomas being in charge of the offloading crew, but I don't have the name of the gnome.
Thomas is the harbor master.
Thomas is the harbor master.
Wasn't it like some crazy wizard name?
There was Duan Mancone, overseer of acquisitions at the Ivory Spire. That's the guy who sent us on the mission to the Salty Maiden.
That is the gnome. Yes.
What was his name again?
Duan Mancone.
5 curses and spite live in each gnome. This truth can't be ignored. The best way to get rid of a gnome is to throw that gnome overboard.
Yes, he particularly enjoyed that song.
I remember him.
Throwing him overboard. Craig, how long?
So he
is
was
the rest
he
of-
was the one who had come from the tower to retrieve the chest that you had brought back from the ruins.
Yes.
Craig, how long before we reach the Ivory Spire, roughly?
That will depend on
Our
your
next roll?
navigating as you've now entered the Sea of Souls, which is
Hey ho!
Does the
Has-
sea look any
tends-
different than the last time we were here?
you can give me a you just give me a straight perception check, or if you want to use other senses, you can give me an arcana. It depends on what you're thinking.
No.
As
I mean,
always, they'll give you different results.
I think Dinar is mostly just interested to see if it looks any different.
Okay.
That's a 7 plus 1 for perception. 8.
No noticeable differences, and for the worse or the better. I mean, it's pretty gloomy. Dark water, fog on the horizon, all of which was present previously. So
Once more, we're on this sea once more. But a
Hey.
man must be blind to make up his mind to sail this sea once more.
hey, that's my role. I'll just throw in the haze every now and then.
Alright, well, I guess we'll
Yeah, so I mean, it
continue
looks pretty much like you remember. Best you
Can't
can
shout
tell.
ho, you can't shout ho, you can't sing shanties if you can't shout ho.
Oh, oh, hey,
Followed
I
by
don't know.
a
That's
hope.
not the that's not the lyric.
Are we
All
there
right.
yet?
No, moving on.
This is just gonna be my new let's get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Are we there yet?
All right. If you'd like to roll, however,
Is this a
D100?
D100?
D100, yes, please.
Who
And
hasn't rolled?
we'll roll the old D100 along. I will
feel like-
roll.
Is it Tayland?
I will roll.
Who rolled last time? Did Flick roll last time? Okay.
I think so. I don't think I've rolled on this particular journey yet.
All right. Why don't we
Yeah, it's your
let
time
Tayland
to
roll.
shine and possibly
And it's
kill us
one
all.
for the hot sun above, two for the empire.
I was
we
just
love.
about to
That's
say,
a
don't roll the 16 that I did last time. but okay.
15.
Much better.
3 for the fire that burns down below.
15 there.
Roll what D100.
Oh.
Roll D100.
As you aim towards your destination, hoping to make a swift exit from the dark seas around you and find port and hopefully safety. While the fog seems to creep in, tentatively reaching out to its tendrils, almost aware of your presence, just kind of moving as you move. Nothing catches your attention. Nothing assaults the ship or hinders your passage. There's very little wind, however. What wind there is not enough to fill your sails. So if you want to proceed by natural means, it'll be a little bit slower, or if you want to hasten your journey in other ways, you may do so, but it will require expenditures of spells and the like.
We'd be all right if the wind was in our sails. Oh, we'd be. I've spent so many spell slots already on that.
Well, with any luck, we can make it to port and then we can get a rest, so it might be worthwhile expending that energy.
Captain, make me big. I'll get out and push.
It's almost shallow enough to do that. Maybe you want to get down there and start rowing.
Aye. As I'll just start lumbering below deck.
Row.
Yeah, I will
the
get
oars ready?
topside, make sure that no one's going to bug us while we're on our way to port.
Okay.
Scamper, scamper, scamper. Up to the flick nest.
Dinar's got some spells, so I'm tempted to give enlarge to Torque for 3 minutes because that's 1 minute for the spell. I can do it 3 times.
Will
I can do it
I
5
still fit
times.
below? Will I still fit below deck?
You would become a large creature.
I
Would
don't
he
see
fit
why
below
not.
deck?
It's
Yeah.
reasonable size, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It wouldn't. It'd be a little cramped, maybe, but
all
Would it-
right.
But I
So-
definitely have a lot more rowing power.
So
if I did
actually,
that.
here's an interesting question. If we gave Torque water walk, could he actually get up and push?
I mean,
I can swim, so it's not.
No,
Like, I
but
feel-
I'm talking physics wise. That would
we're
really
talking a
work.
couple ton. Like we're talking
Yeah,
tonnage
yeah,
here,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Not
Yeah,
like
if I was like huge, maybe, but large, probably not.
Maybe if
No.
you pull it.
I don't know that we'd go any
Strong
faster
man.
than us blowing into the sails with
Like
the rope.
those strongmen that like pull cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
and fire trucks and stuff. Yeah.
So is Tayland gonna do gust? Does he have?
I can do gust of wind.
And how long does that last?
A minute.
Oh my goodness! What all
Per-
those spells are
per
so
cast.
small.
Well, look, if you
I think rowing's
Con-
probably our best option.
conjuring the air itself to propel our sails. If that was a thing that could be
I mean,
done
let's just do both. Let's just do both the wind in the sails and Torque getting big
So,
below deck and rowing.
just so everyone's aware, I can do that for 2 minutes and then I'm out.
Okay.
We're
in
like
that-
home stretch.
In that case, then Dinar will spend 2 second-level spell slots and use enlarge on Torque twice. So we'll get like a real good row and a real good gust, and then we'll just continue a regular row beyond that.
Okay. All right. So as you do all of that, and Captain, as you return to the helm, Give me your water vehicles check, please.
And the wind lifts our songs and our arms, they are strong. Over oceans and rivers we glide. Lift our sails and our hands, we will ride to new lands. Many voyages on many tides. We're hearty souls on the ocean's flow.
So that's a
Yeah.
9 plus my 7 for 16.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
I love turning those like low rolls into big numbers. It always feels so good.
And I was like, so that's a 9, but
I got a lot of plus 7s in my
Like when like a high level rogue makes a stealth check and you're like, oh, you only rolled a 3. Yep, that means I got a 20.
yeah. All right. So you, with the disadvantage of the lack of wind, a little bit of effort from ingenuity and the like from the rest of the crew.
I mean, I can cast the gust cantrip. Just
it's going to take the better part of a day,
which will do nothing. Okay, to get to port.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guess that answers my short rest question.
Well, I mean,
yeah, you
Flick
in
can
that
take
time
short
you can get
rest,
a full rest if you want.
If
Now, if you
Torque is
don't
rowing-
rest, because it is going to be a day, if you choose not to rest, then of course whoever does not rest will get a point of exhaustion.
I volunteer Torque.
I think we can let Torque take a rest, and maybe two of us could go down there and produce some kind of power.
I'm below deck. I'm not hearing any of this.
True.
Dinar, the moment you pick up an oar and begin to row is the moment I give up drinking.
Dinar's gonna make eyes with Flick.
Oh, well, it has to happen now.
I mean, that's tempting. And really, there's no skin off my nose to go down there and row a little bit. So
Sweat a bit. Who's going to sweat more by the end of the day? That's the question.
He's going to ruin all of his scrolls by sweating all over them. Yeah, if we want to do, I mean, I guess, yeah, you would have to be two of us, right? Because like in order to match, we have to have one on each side because we're not large enough to do that.
Torque's just standing like in the middle of the aisle, like not even on a bench, just
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mechanically speaking, my strength is 10, so I'm not.
Oh, I'm actually stronger than you. Holy cow.
say mine's 11. So I think
Yeah,
it'd be
I'm
The
two of us.
question for Flick is like, can he even physically operate it? Strength out of the question, like size
I mean,
wise.
10 is average. 10 is like a normal guy, you know.
I mean, I just mean because of his size. Like, is he like?
So I would end up having to stand on the bench in order to row rather than.
Yeah. Say a little kid trying to reach right, be like lily dipping the oar.
So the other option is that we actually hold up for the night and then just kind of finish it in the morning.
I kind of figured that's what we were doing, like get
I
as
feel
far
like
as
that's
we can.
I feel
and
like that's
then-
the way to go.
Yeah.
So we won't ride
Okay.
through the night or through the day. We will rest so that we don't take any exhaustion.
With
So
the
if you
usual
want to take your time doing full rests and the like, then you're probably looking about a day and a half to 2 days.
Yeah.
we got
we'll
food.
just
We have enough food for it. We're not in a
Oh yeah, you do.
incredible rush. So
Yeah, the only problem is we're right next to the Sea of Souls.
You're in the
Well,
Souls.
I
We're in the
mean,
Sea of
when we
Souls.
keep watch, we only have to focus in one direction.
That's what they thinking of.
Yes.
that is a good point. Do we want to maybe push the first night and then it's done?
and hope that we can
I
get a
don't
good
know.
rest.
I feel
in
like
port.
we might want to keep ourselves fresh for.
I mean, one if we're going above game for a moment, like one level of exhaustion is not the worst.
Mhm.
2 is bad. 1 is manageable. Out of everybody, honestly, probably I'm the best one to have that because I don't make checks very often. But if we're going to be doing a lot of talking, then that might not be the way to go.
Yeah.
Flick is fresh as a daisy. I am at full hit points. Most of my stuff recharges on short rest. So I if you need someone to stay up all night, I'm your man.
I just imagine I don't know if you've ever been on like a canoe where you only have one paddler and you're just constantly like having to
Yes.
keep. That's
Yes.
what Flick's gonna have
Absolutely.
to do all night.
Yeah.
Just
I think
running
Craig was
back
the
and forth
paddler.
from side to side, like trying desperately to keep the ship right.
I
I've shown you
have
my video, right?
done that on many camping trips. So.
It's really frustrating.
I'll just
Yeah.
recirculate my YouTube link. It's a good one.
Captain, what's your
yeah.
call?
We'll leave it up to the captain at this point, I think.
Of course you will.
Gun to your head, Captain.
All
What's the
right.
call?
We'll push through the night
Okay.
or through the day to make it a single day trip.
Okay.
Copy that.
How long does enlarge last?
A minute.
1 minute.
Yeah. So he had it for 2 minutes at the start of to get the boat going.
We had a nice, good 2-minute burst of gust and rowing going, and then now we're just kind of
we're riding that out for
You
the rest
know,
of the day.
that might be the 2 minutes that saves our asses.
Yeah.
If the monster comes, you know?
Yeah, and I mean,
So is it-
I do
to
have
make
more
all
spell
the
slots that I
difference.
could spend.
Can we row with just Torque down there? Or do we need at least 2 people in the hold?
If he's not enlarged, then yeah, you're gonna need more than just one.
Hey, Tayland, get down there.
all the more reason to start crewing up.
Yeah.
Well, good thing I know many rowing songs. I would
Good
say
thing I
for the
put wax in my
first-
ears before we started.
So
For the
why-
first hour, Tayland is like going on singing "Onwards We Row" just constantly, and then after about an hour, it's like he just can't anymore.
Just short of breath.
It's like it's the most quietest journey you've ever been because Tayland physically cannot talk.
I like to think that there's like, not for a lack of trying, we'll be all right.
We're hearty souls by the ocean's float.
Meanwhile, Torque is just going at the exact same. Meanwhile, Torque is just going at the exact same pace he's been going at the whole time, but he's just like drenched in sweat. There's a lot of testosterone below decks right now.
I think,
Meanwhile, Dinar and I are playing Pinochle upstairs. Like,
of course,
do-do-do.
I think maybe once or twice on the trip, Dinar will encourage Flick to go downstairs with some refreshments.
Yes, I'll spritz them a little bit.
Yeah,
Some water.
yeah. Just give Tayland a taste.
Which I don't know, that might be poisonous to Tayland at this point.
Towel service, the whole 9 yards. I got you
Anything less than like 5% alcohol is just straight arsenic for him.
4 hours working
So is-
on this well.
Are all of you staying awake then?
I think
Because you're gonna need you're gonna need somebody at the helm though. If you're rowing without anyone at the helm,
We're gonna.
That's a
go.
good point. I guess it's that. It's all or nothing, right?
basically with only 4 of you, if you're rowing and navigating, the only option for not staying awake would be lookout.
Yeah.
But
One guy who really doesn't need the sleep.
so you're either all in. Yeah, it's like if that's your plan, it's either all in or not.
I think we'll do our best to try to keep each other awake. We'll go all in, and if something should happen and Tayland is not able to continue, Dinar will take his place because Tayland is somewhat capable of helming the ship.
Okay.
Come, me boys, and heave with me. Let's get off this cursed sea.
Wow, we've worked him so hard he wants to get off the ocean.
That's
And
impressive.
making this point, Torque is just sort of silently impressed with Tayland that just that he didn't try to like weasel his way out of doing the manual labor. Like he's obviously not having a good time, but he made the effort to actually do it. And I think Torque's respect for him went up like 0.3%.
I'll accept that, but it was either that or the goblin or the wizard. So
So at some point, once you're a few hours in, I will come and tag you out.
I think
Right.
Tayland will just pass out.
So as you row into the night, the fog begins to thicken and a light rain begins to drizzle. Not a downpour, constant enough to kind of soak you through. And it is a miserable stretch. You're exhausted from the fight, from the extra effort of trying to get the ship going as much as possible, and then adding the weather onto it. And with all the stuff added onto that, the fog and the dark waters, there's almost that psychological exhaustion as well, where it's just a really oppressive state that you're sailing through. But you make your way, pushing through hour after hour, rowing and sailing through the rain. Flick.
Yo.
The fog where you're at is becoming so thick that it's tangible. You can actually wave your hand through it and kind of move the mist as it starts to thicken around you and obscure pretty much anything beyond the deck of the ship below you.
Have a bit of fun with that. Waving the whip around, making patterns, swirlies, and whatever else I can make happen. Between that and the shield, sort of moving big gusts of air with the shield and then swirl it with the whip and just seeing what I can do. Because why not?
All right. Give me a perception check, please.
Because I'm playing. Here we go. Perception 15. That's very average for me.
15. Okay. As you're playing with the fog and, kind of making light of it as much as possible, and you kind of look into the mist, the shifting eddies and currents, again, moving without the help of wind or against the breeze. You see shapes. Faces appear.
And with the shapes. Oy. Spooky faces
Very,
in the
very, very, very faint, though. Just a brief outline of an individual that passes away. Over here, it's almost like two eyes, but as opposed to, actual physical eyes, they seem more like gaps, holes in the fog that appear and kind of move along and then watch and then just here and there, seemingly harmless for the moment, almost toying with you, kind of in the same way that you're toying with the fog. Just something appears.
I got an idea for this.
Catches your idea, catches your attention at the side of you as one appears over here and then fades, and another one,
the peripheral vision and stuff.
And yeah.
I will call out to Dinar to say, "Hey, Skipper, we got the spooky fog faces going on again," or whoever's at the helm. Is it Dinar right now, or is it tail end up?
This is probably about 4 or 5 hours in, so
yeah.
Let's say that's up to.
Say it's probably still Dinar. It's gonna let Talon sweat a little bit.
Hey D, I'm gonna try something. This is don't be alarmed. I'm gonna cast Disguise Self on myself and make myself look like a one of the black goose spewing zombies.
Ooh.
And see if they get any a reaction out of the fog from that.
Okay. The fog.
I'll sort of look back up to Dinar and go, and sort of,
I was going to start pulling out his copper wire, waiting.
One of the apparitions, the faces that appears, again, we're just talking outlines here, very, very vague. Like you can just kind of make out that it's taking some sort of humanoid persona. Lingers a little bit longer, kind of moves in a little bit closer to take a look at you, almost like seems like the head is kind of tilting a little bit.
Oh, doing the dog's head. I'll sort of
gets
imagine
really,
the
really
side.
close. about 10 feet away from you now. This face just kind of slowly coming in and just kind of looking.
I'll see. I'll do my best to Michael Jackson Thriller and sort of amble my way towards it a little bit.
You see a mouse appear.
Yeah.
Just the slightest little quirk of a grin, kind of. And then it fades and pulls back.
All right. Well, that was interesting.
I'm just going to put his copper wire back in.
So it lasts for an hour, so I might as well keep it on while the going's good.
The sound of thunder peals in the distance.
Hey, Flick, come down here for a second.
You got it.
Dinar's going to pull out a little clay model of a ziggurat. I don't know what that is, but he's got one. Place a hand on Flick's shoulder, and cast tongues. I'll throw that up there.
A ziggurat is is sort of like one of those pyramids that instead
Like
of
a
being
step pyramid. Yeah.
It's a step pyramid. Yeah.
Okay.
Zig zig
Something like that. Yeah.
It's where the Spice Girls live.
So when you make a pyramid out of Lego, that's a ziggurat.
Okay. The next time those things appear, if they do appear, try talking to them. You should be able to understand whatever they say.
Oh, this is fun.
You got an hour, so.
Well, yeah. I also look like Mr. Spooky for an hour, so we'll see how this goes.
Oh, yes, you can also talk to it. And it will.
Oh, tongues is too. Yeah.
Yes. So
comprehend languages is one way. Tongues
Yes.
is two. But yeah.
when the target speaks, so you, any creature that knows at least one language and can hear the target, understands what it says.
Sweet. All right. Well, I will continue on watch and keep my my eyes open for more spooky faces. And
Okay.
in the meantime, also leafing through my book. I'm on a new chapter now. It's fantastic.
I like the idea that this wizard's spell book is divided into chapters.
Well, it's more just areas of focus, right? He just sort of he meanders between topics, and there's a new. His dissertations on the different schools of magic I seem to have wandered into. Hey, D, he does not like the idea of generals as magicians. Sorry, man. He takes a big watery crap on your war magic.
How did you say you found that book again?
So what?
How did you say you found that book again?
Places. I got it,
I was just going to say, if you found them under nefarious means, good on you. Dinar's going to walk away kind of muttering under his breath. Doesn't like working. Joke.
Dinar, as you're at the helm, as the rain starts to pick up and thunder rolls, flashes of lightning start to not fork lightning, more just kind of that flashing sky lightning, that ambient, dulled somewhat by the thickness of the fog. Kind of every flash seems to light up the fog a little bit and gives it almost that smoke-like appearance. Give me a perception check, please.
So bad at these. Alrighty. Let's try this dice. Nope, that one sucks too. That's an 8 total. 7 plus 1.
Okay.
My passive is 11, but I don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah, we'll go with passive then.
Okay.
As you're trying to steer as best you can and peering through this pea soup fog and that heavy rain soaked through and kind of looking ahead, and little bit distracted. You're kind of wiping water out of your eyes. And so you're caught quite by surprise as during one flash of lightning, standing just off to your right, no more than 10 feet away, the lightning illuminates a stout figure. And you just catch that briefest glimpse of it, kind of silhouetted in the light. A dwarf. Face marred, skin sloughing off, missing an arm, covered in barnacles and tooth marks being gnawed at. But despite all the decay, you recognize this dwarf. Former crewmate.
Oh.
One who died.
He's only mostly dead.
The lightning flashes again. They still stand there, unmoving, just staring at you.
So he's there when the lightning isn't flashing as well? It's not like the lightning, he's there and then he's gone?
You can just make out the silhouette in the ambient light. And then when lightning flashes, it kind of illuminates more, but not sure where he came from.
Well, since the light seems to make him easier to see, Dinar will light up his scales, specifically, again, focusing towards his hand, his palm, if possible, and shine that in the direction of what I believe to be Ori? Is that the face that I'm recognizing?
Yeah.
Okay.
As you illuminate, doesn't seem to faze him at all, makes no response to the light, just stands there, not moving. Not even the subtle movement of the living who can never be perfectly still. There's just complete stillness. No breathing, no swaying, no twitching. Just statue-like, cold. Eyes boring into you.
Palm shining towards him. Oh, man. Ori. Is that you?
No response.
At a quick glance, does Dinar see any, like, black goo?
Not that you can see.
I'll take a step forward towards him.
Okay. Remain still, motionless.
Raise up a hand, put it on his chest. It's Dinar. Ori. Can you hear me? Dinar is now speaking in Dwarven, by the way.
Okay. The jaw seems to try to move as best as it can as it's kind of hanging off to one side. Good. No.
Yeah, that's me, Bori.
Traitor.
Then I was going to take a half step back. What do you mean, traitor?
You live. You should have died. They wait. The drowned. They wait for you.
Around the rest of the crew? The rest of the crew from the Starling?
They wait.
Wait, where?
Everywhere. Nowhere. You will see soon.
Dinar's going to be flicking flicking towards Flick. Keeping his eyes on Bori, but he's going to flick his fingers towards Flick to try to get his attention.
Yeah, yep. Ostensibly also on watch, so yeah, we'll catch that pretty quick. Especially when you light up. Especially you're lit up, like, oh, hey,
yeah,
close in the bag, down the mast. I'm coming over. What's going on? Oh, hey, you got a buddy.
You actually don't see anything.
I was going to say.
Oh, hey,
that was my
what's
first...
going on, D?
You see Dinar like all lit up, like one hand out, kind of like snapping at you.
Snapping, thank you. Not flicking, snapping.
He's alone.
I mean, if you're British, it's a click, but you know that's yeah.
Keeping his gaze, taking in the fact that Flick can't see what I'm seeing. Bori, tell me what happened.
No, Flick.
Flick, I don't know what happened. I got flung from the ship, and all of a sudden I woke up on the island. I'm not a traitor. It's a miracle that I am alive.
I feel like I'm cut out of the loop again.
You. The gods saved you and cursed us, cursed everyone else. You should have died. You live. They will come to fix that.
Who?
Soon.
Who's going to come to fix that?
Like jumps. Kind of does like one of those jump scares, like comes towards you and just vanishes, goes like right through you.
I think Dinar will stumble back and fall onto his backside and kind of like crab crawl away from where Bori was. Okay,
easy. Hey, are you ready for some rack time there, Skipper?
Dinar will kind of scramble and get back up to his feet and take a look around, hand shining out. Is there anything to be seen around him?
Give me a perception check.
My passive is better at 11.
Is there anything around you at all? Looking at your hand though, where you reached out and touched him, there's just a line almost like a scrape or a scratch.
It's the black spot.
It hasn't broken through your scales at all. It's just like
Oh, so
almost like if you
it's
just
it's like a marking.
yeah, it's just like something that's just, it's almost like a little scratch. Like if you took like something sharp and just kind of roughly scratched the top of your scales. One that you don't remember being there before, depending on how well you know the palm of your hands. But
Well, I'm a wizard. I know everything. Still looking around with his palm out. Dinar will project his voice more. Like, tell me you saw him. Tell me you saw the dwarf.
Nope. I saw spooky faces like 20 minutes ago, and that's been it. I've been upstairs reading. You come down, you ask me down, you got the lights on, and you're freaking out talking to nobody. Like I said, I'm sure I can steer this tub long enough for you to catch a couple hours of Z's.
I don't think I'm sleeping anytime soon. Did you, if you didn't see it, did you hear it?
Did I hear it?
Did you hear
as far as you could tell, Dinar was lighting up and talking to himself and coming back from nothing.
No, apparently this was another conversation I was cut out of the loop of.
Does Flick speak Dwarven?
No. Oh, hell no.
Does anybody on the boat speak Dwarven? I feel like I would know that.
No, I think you were our interpreter when we were in the underwater city, right?
I do.
Yeah, I was going to say Talon does, yeah.
Dinar is still looking around, but he's going to pull out his copper wire and send a message to, send a message to Tayland. Tayland, get up on the deck.
Gladly.
Just drenched with sweat.
You can't tell where the rain starts and the sweat ends.
He has to like wring out his ponytail.
I will sort of pass you on your way up, and I'll head down and take your spot and to say, "Yeah, listen, Dee's gone a little. You seeing things in the fog? Just keep him grounded, eh?"
Grounded. Right. And I'll continue crawling my way up the stairs.
Tayland, did you hear any of the conversation that just happened here on the deck?
No.
You didn't hear it. You didn't hear a dwarf. You didn't hear Dwarven.
I can't hear anything down there. There's a storm. In fact, while I was working, I could barely hear myself think. It was a nightmare.
Dinar's going to fight the urge to make a comment on that.
This whole time, Torquist.
Torque is just applying torque.
Yeah. Just hasn't broken stride the whole time.
Tayland, I need you to take the helm for a few minutes. And without even a response, Dinar is going to make his way towards the crow's nest and start climbing.
All right. Boy, when he doesn't sleep, he gets real weird.
Fleck,
Yeah.
as you head down the stairs into the lower deck, a flash of lightning similarly illuminates just kind of the stairwell as you're stepping down in, and standing at the bottom of the steps, a figure in dark robes, bloodied, hood drawn up, older looking, scraggly.
Big floppy hat with stars and crap on it.
Big floppy hat. Wound looking Very familiar.
About just reaching sort of upward angled wounds into the
Sounds like-
lower chest and abdomen. 6 or 7 of them, just
Yeah.
to make sure. Yeah,
Robe's
don't know
just-
the guy.
Soaked in blood all over that spot there.
Homijibe. Ooh, it's you. I don't even
Face-
know your name.
Face
get
is
that as a
obscured by the
ringtone?
hood. Homijibe, it's you.
Every time I get a text message.
Oh, you saved a clip and just download the audio. There you go. There it is. With the face obscured, never really got a good look at that anyway.
Yeah, no, he was too busy shooting at me. Listen, mister, like, no offense, but self-defense, right? Right?
Is Torque in your shot of this?
Give me a perception check because you're still rolling pretty hard, but
Okay.
with him coming down into the holds, you might be able to pick up on this.
I don't think it rolled. One moment.
Here comes drum roll.
Well, my passive's a 15 if we're doing that rule. If not, it's
Yeah.
a 12.
Okay, 15. You can't quite hear clearly. Like you hear Flick muttering, talking to somebody, saying something. He's obviously not talking to you.
Yeah, he's just gonna like look at Flick and just like silently keep an eye on him without interrupting,
Okay.
unless things take a turn for the worse.
And Flick is by himself,
Mm-hmm.
as far as you can tell.
So clearly something is happening, but unless he like pulls out a weapon or something, Torque is not going to take any sort of immediate action. He's just going to keep at the oar,
Okay.
or maybe he'll take a rest now, so he's not rowing in circles without feeling here. But yeah, he'll just sit at the bench and observe.
Sure. Flick, the figure's head stays down, cowl kind of covering the face. You hear a raspy voice speaking very faintly, very quietly, but somehow still loud enough that you can hear it clear as day, as if it was right in your ears. Thief. Murderer.
I mean, yes, but, perspective and all. You weren't going to be using that stuff anymore anyway, because of the second thing. So the thief, yeah. And the murderer, well, I believe you shot first. So.
Dun dun.
So, listen, Mac, no offense, but I was minding my own business and you started shooting at me. So, if anyone should be ticked off, sorry I won, I guess.
For a moment, there's just silence. You do not deserve the book.
Well, hey. I've been working hard at this crap. That's hard. You wrote a lot in there, It ain't easy for me to figure this stuff out.
Do your companions know that you're a fraud? A coward?
Hey, I do right by them.
How long till you stab them in the back? How long till you turn on them in self-defense?
Well, as soon as they start shooting at me first, I guess. Listen, I've I've come to peace with this, and apparently you haven't. So make me an offer. How can I make this square with you, buddy?
Keep reading the book, murderer. Enjoy what time you have left.
So, to put your soul to rest, I need to have a good time and keep doing what the heck it is I'm doing. Deal. The deeper implications of what he's saying may not be penetrating immediately, but maybe if I get a sleep on it, then maybe. But
Like crash of thunder and lightning flashes again, and then the figure is just gone, leaving you alone in the stairwell. And you kind of see beyond. You see Torque just kind of watching you.
yeah, I think I'm piecing together what happened to D upstairs. So I'm gonna come down. I'm gonna, hey Torque, this is it's a hell of a storm, ain't it?
It's been quite troublesome, yes.
Word of warning. I caught D upstairs talking to nothing. I just had a very similar experience where I was talking to someone who I thought was very long dead.
All of this is making perfect sense so far.
So, just saying, if you see someone who you weren't expecting to see come out of the fog, have a nice talk, and then apparently have a fun life and continue doing whatever it is, the hell it is you're doing, and their soul will be at rest. That is the message from beyond that I have received.
I will take this advice to heart. Thank you very much for informing me.
Should we tell Talon or let him find out on his own?
It might not be the worst idea to keep him in the loop as well.
I know. As entertaining as it would be to watch him freak out, it could be dangerous for the rest of us.
What sort of entity was it that you spoke?
It was a guy that I knew from before I signed on the ship. And he was kind of upset with how we parted company, shall we say.
In that case, I would recommend you inform Talon as soon as possible.
All right. 2 shakes, and then I'll come back here and haul some oars with you. Right back. Scampers up. I'm assuming at this point, Talon and Dinar have had a few moments to talk. Is there anything going on up there? Or
I think, yeah, Dinar was going up to the crow's nest and I took the helm.
The Flick's Nest.
The Flick's Nest, yes.
Yes, I will get up there. I'll say, yeah, don't you be reading any of my literature. Read it for the articles.
Wait, heave ho on the dark.
So,
stormy
just a quick
blue.
note here, Talon. Captain is a little squirrely.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that, yeah.
On account of he saw something in the fog. I just seen something on the stairs. You may be getting a visitation from the past. Just putting it out there. It seems to be something in the storm tonight. Bringing out all the spooks and specters from the past.
Have you been getting into my private stash?
Only a little. And it was medicinal, I promise. But yeah, just,
Well,
Be
it is
aware
the sea
that-
of souls. Do we know if these are actual souls or is it only illusions? Do they know things they shouldn't know, say things they wouldn't say?
we had a conversation and it seemed to be on the level.
But is it extrapolating from your mind or could it actually be the soul of the deceased?
Well, that's a great question. He told me to have a nice day, have a nice life. And continue.
Paraphrase somewhat.
I'm going to be honest with you, Flick. There are many people I would not consider friends who've told me to have a nice life.
Right. I mean, he seemed a little unquiet, but I asked him how could I make it square with him, and he said
there was a troubadour in a pub once. Traveled around a little bit. He said he had this one song he wrote. He said, "When the world gets in my way, I say, have a nice day." Could just be that.
Hey, hey, hey.
Well, this guy definitely wasn't no singer, but yeah, he.
True singers.
Anyway, just a heads up: don't get too freaked out by whatever comes out of the fog. Just remember, Ed.
Well, I'll tell you what.
anything
We're gonna find out if they're bulletproof. How's that sound?
Well, see, this is why I'm telling you ahead of time. So don't start shooting at stuff that isn't gonna hurt you.
We'll
Right?
see. So if I just ignore them, they'll go away.
Or have an uncomfortable conversation. I'll leave that up to you.
All of my conversations tend to be quite uncomfortable, but not usually for me.
Well, best of luck to you turning the tables on this one. I think I came out gangbusters on this one. And now I'm going to go pull some water. Catch you later.
Do you think we should check on Dinar? He seems a little...
Well, he just needs some time to work through it. He's not as insightful as some of us. So he'll get it.
for sure.
At this point, Dinar isn't quite running circles around the Flick's nest, but he's like going from one side to another side, to another side, to another side, looking out into the fog, trying to see something.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Give me a perception check.
Sure. That's an 11 plus 1, so one. It's a 12. That's one better than my passive.
Sure is foggy.
I say this fog is thicker than pea soup.
If there's anything else out there in the fog, you haven't the foggiest.
Duh.
You must have missed it.
All right, I'm due on the ore deck, but I'm gonna go. I will scamper up the real fast.
Have we been just going in circles because Torque
No.
is still going?
We kinda come
Torque
to a
is taking
stop.
us. Torque is taking a siesta until the next person comes from
Okay.
me on the other side.
I'll just scamper up real fast. Okay, listen, D, you're not going crazy. I just seen someone too. It's all right.
Who? Who did you see?
Someone from my past that was super dead.
Someone from your past.
Yeah.
And you saw them.
We had a nice little chat.
What did you talk about?
I mean, he had some things to say to me. He was a little disturbed about our last conversation. And then he told me to have a good life and continue doing what I'm doing. So that's what I'm going to go do. And I think you should do the same.
That was very different than the conversation I had. I was threatened. Were you threatened?
It's all about context, right? Like you got to look find a silver lining. You could read into something someone says and maybe find something a little nicer. I mean, he didn't have a ton of time to explain himself, so
Give me an insight check, Flick, just as Dinar kind of throws this at you.
21.
Oh my.
With as he throws that at you, you kind of think on what the apparition actually said. You're like,
yeah, I guess
There might have been
could've-
something a little bit darker in there.
It might have been mildly threatening, but I've got a good disposition. I tend to think the best of people, and bygones be bygones. He's dead. I'm not. Sure, he'll be a little grumpy.
Does this have anything to do with that book of yours?
Yes, an awful lot.
Okay.
It may have been the author of said book.
Okay.
Yeah, the guy who's taking the watery crap on your magic. Yeah, that
Yeah.
guy.
Okay. We should
So
probably
yeah,
check
we
with
don't
the
like
other
him,
guys.
right?
No, we don't
Sorry,
like
what?
him. We should probably check with the other guys and make sure they don't have.
I've already filled everyone in to make sure they don't, especially Mr. Shooty Pants down there at the helm.
Oh, if you and I were visited, he's certainly getting visited by multiple
huh.
people.
Like I'm practically an angel compared to him, right? That's
That's my thinking. Yes.
so. Yeah. Anyway, I'm still due on the oars deck. Torque is miserably alone down there, waiting for someone to row with him. So take it easy. We can talk about this in the morning once we're in port. Got a couple of pints in front of us. We can sort this whole thing out.
Did I hear port?
Yes, we're hoping to be in one soon. Not a drink.
Oh,
Or a heading.
Well, maybe a headache.
Torque.
Yes.
you left him alone, guys.
Yeah. I was just thinking that.
While Flick returns to the deck above and leaves you by yourself once more.
Miserably alone,
moment.
I believe.
For a moment, there's quiet and stillness, the sound of the storm, rain outside the ship. And in your passive perception, just kind of picking it up, you realize just suddenly that you're not alone. Sitting on a bench about 8 feet away is a very large, haggard-looking turtle.
So
Part of the lower jaw missing. One of the eyes is scratched out. Parts of the shell are battered. Lots of signs of warfare, axe marks, battle damage. The soft side underneath just ripped and torn all over. And they just sit there.
So, haunting my dreams was no longer enough. Now you must appear to me in my waking moments as well.
Do you enjoy your new crew?
They are rough around the edges and quite a bit green, but they have potential.
Do you care for them?
Against my better judgment, yes.
Does she care for them?
I would like to think so. Although, if not, I hope that my devotion is enough to provide them with a proxy. I know what you're going to say.
Who are you?
It's selfish of me to use them in this way. To think that a blackened soul like myself is deserving of a second chance, an opportunity. I've had the same thought many times myself.
I think you cut out for a second there, Jack.
Okay, that was just me. Okay.
No. An opportunity, I think, is all we
Do it
got.
again. The right way this time. I've had the same thought many times myself since joining this crew.
Careful the path you tread now. Your past follows you. We follow you.
You are dead at the bottom of the sea.
All
I have
that the
no
sea claims does not remain down there. You know this, loggerhead.
I'm not afraid of you. Not anymore.
It is not me you need fear, but the one that brings me back to you.
Torque stands up and throws the bench across the deck of the ship at it.
Amazing. Give me a strength check.
I'm going to rage.
I'm glad I'm not the first one to attack the apparition.
I'm going to rage to give myself advantage.
You awesome, yeah.
Nice.
$21.
Okay. With just this sudden surge of strength and just unbridled rage, I lift and just chuck this the bench, and you watch as it unerringly flies towards the turtle, hits it square on, and the bench actually snaps in half where it makes contact, and just it breaks and falls to the floor in two pieces. And as it does, though, as soon as it hits, the apparition just evaporates. But the bench is now broken and lies as a reminder of your encounter.
But it does hit the apparition.
You're not
Seemingly.
there.
Well, this is Mike asking.
As far as Torque can tell, it seemed to have contacted it. I mean, something broke the bench.
Interesting.
He's just standing in the center of the below deck area, just breathing heavily. He's got electricity crackling on the surface of his skin, and his right hand is just twitching uncontrollably.
This is the point when Flick re-enters. It's like, I'm sorry I took so long. Gee.
So is this like that scene from that Star Wars movie where the Kylo Ren's ripping the thing apart and the two stormtroopers come around and then they just, nope.
Nope, where you go the other way. Yeah.
Torque is going to just walk past Flick up the stairs to the deck of the ship. And on the way past, he's going to just side-eye Flick and say, tell the captain to take the bench out of my share of the pay. And then just head all the way up.
I mean, I guess I'll row.
Whip on one side, hand on the other.
I need some air. I'll be back in a moment.
Right. See if I can get this mage hand thing working. All right.
Kayland,
There we go.
as you stand at the helm, doing your best to keep the ship on course and being aware of the encounters of at least two of your fellow crewmates, making you somewhat expectant that someone will appear. Give me a perception check.
As the souls of the dead fill the space of my eyes.
How drunk are you?
I have not had a drop yet,
Okay, so
Oh,
wow.
which is because
Yes.
physical
You've
labor
been
and
rowing.
Yeah,
alcohol
yeah.
is not
Sweat
good.
it all out. That's
Yeah.
There you go. So no disadvantage
In
this
fact,
at all. Yeah.
it's not even that I haven't had a drop. I'm pretty sure whatever was currently going through me has been flushed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Evaporated.
Nat 20 for a 27.
wow.
And the role fits the role play. There you go.
Yep.
You are expectant. You're kind of looking, you're on edge, your senses are heightened. You don't see anything, but you hear something.
As the souls of the dead fill the space of my ears.
You hear a humming.
There we go.
A female voice.
E-
The tune is one you haven't heard in a lifetime, but it's still there.
I knew this was coming.
Sound of your mother's voice. Just
Yeah,
humming
yeah,
along.
yeah. There it is.
Just humming a sweet lullaby. You can just kind of hear it around you. Familiar.
Not
After
the
a moment,
first
the song
time.
stops.
Ghostly apparitions. If you're trying to scare me, you're going to have to try a lot harder than that.
Talon, dear. Beware your course.
Say something that can prove to me you are who you are.
You know you carry bitterness in your heart. You wish to repay him for wronging you, wronging me.
It's the least
I
can
let it
do.
go. I let it go a long time ago, Talon. You should too.
That's all I needed to hear. Get out of my head.
I'm not in your head. You occupy enough space in your own mind, Talon. There's no room for anyone else in there.
I don't know what you are, but when I find who or what you are, you're going to rue the day you chose her countenance and her voice to speak to me. I am going to peel the flesh away from your face until naught but bone and sinew remains, and then I'm going to stamp it into the bitterness of the rocks beneath my boots.
I weep for what you have become, Talon. The harshness that the streets bore into you. I watched, hoping that your time in the temple would soften your heart. It seems it has not.
I'm only doing what I was requested on the deathbed. And it will be done. No
Those were the
trickster
dying words
illusion
of-
is going to change it.
Those were the dying words of a broken woman. Death brings clarity. If you seek him still, beware. He aligns himself with powerful entities. Be careful, son. I miss you. The humming returns and slowly fades away.
I need a drink. A lot of drink.
I think it's at this point that Torque makes it up above deck and just takes a deep breath and then just goes over to the side of the ship and just leans over the guardrail and just stares out of the fog.
Dinar, being in earshot of Talen's words at least, gonna climb down from the Flick's nest, walk over to the helm. Talen, you want to talk about the whole peeling the flesh off and smashing face in the rocks? Is there something we need to talk about?
I need a drink.
Yeah, I'm all right with you drinking. That's good. In
Get out of
fact,
the way. I'm just going to walk past.
Interesting. Dinar won't stop you.
After a moment, Torque will go back below deck and help Flick with the rowing.
When you arrive
Sounds
down,
good.
I've set up another bench. I've sort of rearranged it so to make up for the missing one. And sitting in your seat is a little origami turtle.
I apologize for my outburst. It was unprofessional of me.
Hey man, not everyone can be as well adjusted as I am. It's okay. Yeah, let's get this tub into port, shall we?
Torque will gingerly pick up the origami turtle and just like slide it down 5 feet to the side and then just sit next to it and take the oar.
Yeah, the craziest thing. I'm in this bit about summoning circles and folding space, and suddenly there's pictures of folding paper, and so yeah, it's weird. This guy, sometimes connecting the dots makes my head hurt, but
I never had much of a mind for magic. Hurts the mind to think about it too hard.
Yeah, let's stop thinking and start rowing, shall we?
That sounds for the best.
As you row through the night, continue on your journey. The rain begins to lighten up. Not like light, it's not like illuminated rain. And the fog doesn't clear, but it seems to move back a little bit from where it was kind of pressing in. Dawn breaks. bringing only a haze of light, though a grayish light. The sun seeming to be unable to penetrate the thickness of this fog as well, and so it leaves everything kind of in muted shades, half light, almost a mockery of sunlight. Illuminates the dull gray around it, the thickness of the fog, and you can see now how it truly is, almost like a wall on either side of the ship, and behind and in front. And only by following your course and charted maps, skill of navigating, are you able to kind of discern that you're on the right path. As you sail somewhat blind. But eventually, even in the fog, in the far distance, you can make out land. A couple small islands at first. Ones that you vaguely recognize as being near the port. As you approach, quickly realize that the port you're sailing into appears much different from the one that you left. You can make out walls, battlements, and fortifications. You see smoke rising from several chimneys. More buildings than seem to have been there before. This is a place fortified for war. As you get closer, you see cannons and other types of arsenal and ballista mounted on towers at the ends of the piers. A couple of trebuchets just peeking above walls as well. And all along the shore, sand and dirt that has turned black, sludge-like. The black seems to be creeping up the shore, reaching out of the water and into the grasses and reeds. Where the black touches any rushes, reeds, little bits of life and greenery that sprout from the banks have all withered. It seems that the Sea of Souls is not content to remain in the water, but is now encroaching upon the land around the port. A light from above the harbor master's main keep kind of turns and focuses in your direction. You see a light up bright, piercing through the fog as it illuminates the ship. A voice projected from the shoreline through the fog. Magically, you zoom out to you. Approaching vessel. Identify yourselves immediately.
Turk will just give Dinar a nudge and say, this is your moment, Captain.
We represent the Lollipop Guild.
Hand over the mouth.
We are at war with the Lollipop Guild. Fire.
Dinar will project his voice over the waters as best he can. We are the crew of the Radiant Dawn. We are sailing up from the Port of Sands. We're seeking refuge from the Sea of Souls.
You are the vessel that passed through the ruins by the creature. Yes?
That was us, yes, before you guys lit it up.
Approach slowly. Make no show of arms or hostility. You will be met at dock. Remain on your ship until guards approach and secure. If you do not agree to this, turn back now, or your approach will be considered hostile and we will fire.
Dinar's going to look around at the raggedy crew. We're all exhausted.
Yeah, I think Flick's already putting the plugs in the ends of the cannons.
Yeah.
What all did he request us to do? Is to
No show of
deactivate our
arms.
weapons and
Basically, show no sign of hostility, not be armed, and approach slowly. Wait on board when you arrive at port.
Torque is just going to unclasp the nice sort of like weapon harness that Flick made for him and just gently kind of let it slough off of him onto the deck.
Haven't slept, heave ho, he said, in many suns and moons. Oh, I will sleep when we reach shore, and pray we get there soon.
It was a good parlay, Captain, although I would encourage you to use a bit more professional dialogue next time as opposed to lit it up.
In my defense.
You the guys that lit that thing up? Dang.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm not familiar with all of this, being the one in charge.
You got to use big words like prestidigitation.
Well, the only
Let's
big
get
words
this one
I
a
know
coffee.
The only big
Aye,
words
aye,
I know
aye,
are
it's you.
Dwarven, so
And they all sound angry.
yeah.
Flick, do we have any more of that dwarven coffee below deck?
I'm on it. Scamper, scamper, scamper.
Powerful
Alright.
stuff. Could peel the paint off walls if you let it steep long enough.
As you approach port, you all do receive a point of exhaustion. And as you
Hooray.
sail in, you see a heavy guard presence. Guards all wearing the colors of the Ivory Spire, and tabards across as well. And you can see many of them carry weapons that are quite obviously enchanted. We'll take a break.
Mm.
We'll pick it up from there. So stay tuned, sit back, grab a drink, whatever you need to do. And we'll be right back. welcome back. So just during the break there, we realized that perhaps the Discord link was one that was set to expire and may not have been entirely accurate. So we have updated that. The Discord link now should last forever and ever.
But it doesn't matter.
Never
When you're
expire.
viewing VOD, you can still use that same link.
That's right. So yeah, follow that link, type it in, do whatever you need to do, and join our Discord and come hang out. Yay.
Yay.
All right. With that out of the way, as you sail into the port of the Ivory Spire, now heavily fortified, in a very short time, lots of buildings, walls, fortifications, making it pretty obvious that some magical construction was put to work here, as well as nobody builds that fast, not even dwarves.
I was going to ask, like, how much time has elapsed? Like a couple of months since we were last here?
Probably at most, yeah. By the time there and back and the time you spent down there, yeah, because it's 2 weeks there, 2 weeks back. It's 1 month, and then you guys spent about at least a month.
Yeah.
Down
It's
in
not-
Porto Darius, so it's been a few months, yeah. So that much obvious that there's it's all the fortifications, everything is it looks new, and even as it looks new, you can see signs of battle. Dried blood on the pier. There's some scorch marks and stuff on the walls as well. These fortifications are here for a reason. That much is certain. And all along the dock, there are multiple guards, kind of waving you in and call for you to throw the lead lines to them as they kind of pull the ship in the rest of the way and kind of bring it into pier and tie it off. And two individuals can approach and come to board the ship. One is bearing a crest that has a simple spire on it, obviously a mark of the spire, and it seems to be some sort of badge of office as well. Tall elf with almost like platinum blonde hair pulled back in a tight ponytail, and eyes just like super bright blue, like a cerulean bright blue that almost have a hint of a glow to them. Pupilless, just flat blue right across. And walking beside this individual is a shorter individual, a dwarven fellow, bright red beard, shaven pretty, like not down and bushy like you would see in a lot of dwarves, but pretty close cropped, but it kept like immaculately well trimmed, and the sides of the head are kind of shaven up, and a bit of a faux hawk kind of on the top going down. You can see a big tattoo kind of running down one side of the face that looks like it's got a bunch of different, at first it just kind of looks like some random abstract lines, but Dinar especially, you recognize to get closer that it's actually dwarven rune for courage. That's going to be tattooed onto the individual's face. And they come and they board the ship. And the elven individual kind of leans forward. Right. Well, I am Captain Garrus.
Aye.
I have been told by the harbor master that the four of you have been here before. However, you sailed on a different ship, the Intrepid Devil, I believe.
That's correct, yes.
You are no longer part of Connor Boone's crew, then?
Not as such.
Not as such. You see all
Right.
that black crap that's climbing up on your beaches?
Yes, the Black Tide.
Yeah, that took down the devil.
Sorry to hear that.
Captain Boone survived. We lost a lot of our crew.
We've had losses of our own here as well.
Understandable.
Whatever information you have regarding this entity in the ooze, we would like to hear that. Consider it an informal debriefing, if you will. You're not being held. Your faces are known here, and so you have some leeway to enter, but know that we are under high alert. We are, as it stands, in a state of war, though our enemy is not one of empires or kingdoms or forces of the like, but something other. Nevertheless, we have faced many assaults and have seen to it that our port here has been fortified to stand against this new threat. You can thank the wizards up above for much of what has been constructed here in such a short time.
Dinar's going to give Tayland a little elbow in the gut.
It's amazing what they can do when their own mortality is threatened.
Yes, right. Tell me, I've heard your names, but since I'm not acquainted with you personally, would you please identify yourselves, just for the record, if you don't mind?
Yeah. Captain Dinar here.
The dwarf pulls out a ledger and is like, big book.
First mate, Tayland Wavesinger, at your service, bard and mariner extraordinaire.
Master Gunner, Master Gunner, Flick Dog Slicer, at your service, Your Majesty, and I'll do a deep bow.
Tor, quartermaster.
And the name of your ship, I believe, the Radiant Dawn, is that correct? Or do we see
That is correct.
Radiant Dawn.
there? Do you have any other crew aboard?
No.
Just a parrot.
We're looking to recruit some more.
There might be a few lingering souls here in town who would be interested in such work, but if we might get down to the nature of your business, as you might understand, it's a bit peculiar for us to see a ship coming in to port at this time, especially coming from the direction you have. Very few vessels are sailing the Sea of Souls these days, given all that is transpiring. What brings you back?
Captain.
General ignorance, really.
Yeah, Torque.
Permission to field this answer, Captain.
Go for it, Quartermaster.
This black tide you speak of, among other reasons for being here, we believe that we may have information that might be relevant to the wizards of the Ivory Spire relating this phenomenon. And in recruiting additional members of our crew, we hope to mount a more complete expedition to uncover the cause.
I see. A noble cause, of course, it's mighty worthy of you. We are investigating the nature of such entity ourselves. Well, I think I have all I need to know at this point. You are welcome to enter into town. I will inform you that there are certain establishments that are off limits at the moment. The Ebengard Barracks primarily being one of them. Also the Arcane, which is reserved for special guests of the tower alone. And the prelatories are for dignitaries of their respective faiths as well. So please do not seek to enter any of those locations without permission, without writ of entry, or you will be detained. Regardless of how familiar your faces are, protocol must still be followed at the moment, since again, we are on rather high alert. You may keep yourselves armed. Just no outward signs of aggression, please. You will be watched at all times by means both physical and arcane.
Thank you for your
unless you're
hospitality.
not when you're resting or using the lavatory or any of that such stuff, but general areas are under watch at the moment.
Hey,
Thank you
one
for
last
your-
thing, Chief. Please tell me that the berth is still up and running.
Yes, the berth is still there.
Oh, my
Change-
way.
Bit of a change of ownership, but yes, the berth is still functioning and still has food and drink and everything available for you. So
I'll
Change
meet you
of
guys there.
But what about the nice bear lady? What happened to her?
yes, we had some casualties here.
Oh, you're killing me, man. Really?
We before we were able to get these fortifications up that you see around you, we had an invasion of possessed things, creatures from the sea. Some obvious reanimated corpses, others were pirate-like. All seem to bear these black goo of some sort, various appendages. They came up out of the water itself and caught many unawares, unfortunately. Well, we were able to eventually hold them off. There were casualties and losses, and yes. Anyway, we have business to attend to, but your ship will be safe here, and we have it secured and ready for you. Will you be requiring a resupply at all?
Yes.
Do you have another destination in mind once you set out from here? An estimation of how many weeks at sea you would be. We can tally up a resupply cost for you, and Mr. Connor, the harbor master, will see to that, of course.
Dinar's gonna kind of look around. Everybody.
I
except for Taylor
believe
has left.
our next destination was the island of Tyr.
Tia. Okay.
Yeah.
Very well. I will send word to Thomas, and he will procure standard supply unless there's any special requests you have. Of course, keeping in mind that anything special will cost extra, as it is. There may be some things that we are unable to provide for at the moment, given that we are in wartime, as it were, and some provisions are being rationed tightly.
I suppose that eliminates the possibility of any sort of sponsorship, given that we have overlapping objectives.
Sponsorship. You wish the Spire to fund you, in a manner of speaking.
That is for my captain to decide, but it is one of my responsibilities to manage resources, prospective or
See.
otherwise.
I see. Any specific request of that sort would fall to Duan Ganymede. He's the head of our defense department. I suppose word could be sent to him if he's available. I'm not sure if he would get you right away or not, but the request can be passed along.
Captain, are these arrangements amenable to you?
For now, yeah, I guess we got to figure out what exactly we're dealing with here. There might be more requests before we leave.
Right.
At Sir Ganymede's earliest opportunity, at his own convenience, please.
Certainly. Sergeant Agrath here has made note of it. We will pass it along. And I'm assuming that since you'll be staying in port here, at the berth, no doubt, we will know where to find you.
That's right.
Yes.
Excellent. Gentlemen, I would say enjoy your stay, but that seems a bit trite given everything that's going on, but nonetheless, enjoy your stay. Be wary. If you hear the bells tolling, should you choose to come and guard the port, you'd be welcome alongside our guards, or you may find shelter as needed, but the bells will toll at the sign of any incursion from the sea itself. If you see any black ichor or goo, avoid it. Do not touch it. Do not step in it. Do not come near it.
Believe me, we're well versed.
Right, yes. You
In light of these
counted
trying,
it. So Jack, you skipped there again.
I just said, in light of these trying times, we appreciate your ongoing hospitality.
It's
Tell
not
me,
free, mind you. Nothing is, but yes.
a few months ago, there was a Sahuagin attack on the docks down here.
Yes.
Can you tell me the fate of the hero of that battle?
The hero.
Gary, where is Gary?
Gary, Lieutenant Gary, yes. He is currently in the Ebengard garrison.
Lieutenant, that's fantastic. Way to go, kid.
Indeed, yes.
So proud.
Yes, Gary held himself well on that day.
Sure did.
I was stationed at the tower proper at that time, and have since taken over command of the garrison here. But fine soldier Gary is, and indeed.
Sorry, did you just say Gary is in command of the garrison?
No, I am in command of the garrison, but Gary is stationed in the garrison.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
If you should see Gary, send him to the berth. We wanna buy him a drink.
If I come across them in my rounds at the moment, I will send word. You can always send word for him at the gate of the garrison as well, and the staff on duty there will pass it on.
Thank you.
So we'll be on our way then.
Right, yes. Take care, gentlemen, and may good fortune be with you as you stay here in the port.
You as well.
All right,
They
let's
take their
give him
leave
a minute.
exit off the ship and kind of walk off, and you see them heading towards the harbor master office.
Yeah, I just didn't want that awkward thing where we're all walking in the same direction. That just, yeah. All right.
Now, Captain, assuming that we do get an audience with this Duan Ganymede, I would like to go over the details of the request I would like to make from the Ivory Spire. Although I'm not certain that they will be able to deliver on such a request, it certainly wouldn't hurt to ask, all things considered.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
What I think would be best is if we request a loan of 900 gold pieces, enough to provide ample wages for minimum crew of 10 men for a period of at least 3 to 4 months. Willing to pay out of pocket.
Okay. I mean, there's no harm in asking, right? Worst they can say is no.
We do have overlapping interests in
Sure.
finding the cause of this black tide, as they called it. I think we may be able to use that as leverage.
Were we looking at hawking certain wares that we have here as well?
I'm trying to remember. We weren't planning on doing anything with the dragon skill, right? Or were we?
I mean, these were the guys that were collecting that crap, so
It's true.
just not that we should know that they, right? Like, they don't know that we know, so maybe coming in saying, hey, we got more of the same thing that we don't know you're collecting.
Yes.
Might be a little weird.
You guys wouldn't happen to have any interest in this, would you? Just at a chance.
But I mean, not within reason that we would bring something of that kind of value to a place that we know houses a very large arcane research center.
I guess sort of from a research point of view, might just be the kind of crap they'd be into, regardless of.
Yeah, we might as well bring it along. Hopefully we can, at the very least, get something for it or out of it, and they don't just take it from us.
Oh, and that reminds me, before we leave the ship, Flick is going to cast on the. Is there like a main hatch to below decks?
Yep, there is.
Kind of that center point right there.
Let me just bring up.
Because I've got a 2nd level spell slot burning a hole in my pocket.
So yeah, there's right on the deck. There's sort of 2 ladders that go down into the hold.
Go into the hold there. Where? So how do you access the crew quarters? I guess is my question.
So there's a door. So underneath the poop deck.
Okay.
There's a door kind of between the 2 ladders that goes underneath the poop deck into the cabins there, and then there's another ladder at the sort of the back that goes down.
All right. Well, one by one, as I'll pick one of the doors that leads into the crew quarters, and I'm going to cast Arcane Lock. Because this lasts until dispelled. So just as I have 2nd level spell slots and nothing else to do with them, I'm going to start locking all the doors on the ship so that only we can use them.
Good foresight. We have had a lot of people sneaking up on us unexpectedly.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
as you're
before we leave,
as you're casting that, then so you can pick who can pass it, or you and the creatures you designate. Yeah, so there's no limit on how many creatures you can designate, right?
Right.
You and the creature. Okay, I was just checking his limit. So yeah, you can give access to whoever you want there. Perfect.
So yes, I will designate the officers and crew of the ship. So hopefully that will be future-proofing it for when we hire more people, that they won't be locked out.
Got it. So as you guys are kind of doing your last minute preparations here and getting ready to exit the ship, you see the door of the harbor master keep open, and a familiar-looking, somewhat balding with a little bit patches of kind of white hair, very scraggly, stout-looking individual. One Thomas Connor kind of comes out onto the pier and kind of gives a look at the ship for a second, not recognizing the ship, but then as he recognizes you guys, he kind of comes a little bit of a kind of a stumping run towards. Hi, I heard you guys were back. Oh, no Boone, eh?
Not with us. No, he's back at the Port of Sands.
Oh, well, we made it there then. That's good. I suppose.
Yeah, it's a hell of a story if you have an evening to pass.
Oh man, not right at the moment. As you can see, there's a lot going on here. But you in port for a bit of a spell, then, are you?
At least a night, yeah.
All right. Tell you what, I'll find you on the morrow then, and if you got a spare moment for a pint or two, I can catch up on a few things here. You can catch me up on your travels and the like, and what's transpired since. Good to see you, lads, though. There's been a lot of sorrow around here lately. It's good to see some familiar faces. I don't know how much you've heard about what's transpired and some of the losses we've taken here, but I don't want to.
Yeah, we've been told the short story, but it sounds like you guys have been through hell.
Oh, yes, fair way of putting it. I mean, bloody things came out of nowhere, just walking out of the sea, all black and tentacly and ooze and sludging, and some dead, some looking like they should be dead, but not. Strangest thing, I tell you, almost as if the sea itself is come alive and trying to attack us on the shore and everything. So, strange times, eh?
Our experiences last night are any kind of sign, you might not be far off.
What you mean, eh?
That's a story for the pub.
Ah, say no more then. I'll leave you to it, and whatever business you got, and I'll come find you around town tomorrow if I've got a spare moment. But I just wanted to come and give my greetings as I heard you in, and give my regards to Boone, eh? Next time you see him, tell him I'm still alive and kicking. Hope he is too. He is, right?
He is, yes.
Okay, all right, good.
Yes.
All right. Good.
Yeah. Good to see you're still here.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, it'd take a lot to knock this one down. Old Thomas still got a lot of fight, a lot of guts left in me, eh? So, anyway, you gents take care of yourselves, be on guard, and we'll catch up with you.
Sounds good.
It's a nice little ship you got here. I have to ask some questions about that and the devil too, but when it's time, right, sorry, stay and chat all day. That's sort of my failing. It is a bit of a chatterbox, but right. Anyways, I'll leave you to it, and kind of gives like a weird, awkward salute. Sully seems a little bit off as he kind of like turns and shovels back towards the Harbor Master's area.
We should keep an eye on that one, but for now, a warm bed and a nap are both in order, I think.
Can I tell what was off with him? Like, is he just overtired, overworked?
You give me an insight check, yeah?
Is he secretly an oozy tentacle monster?
Yeah. With disadvantage because we're so tuckered. Here we go.
You are.
Hey.
19. That's with the disadvantage.
Yeah, you gather he's kind of got the general disposition of somebody who's just really beat. Who's been running, somebody who's been running ragged, and yeah, even just he's kind of huffing and like running, seems to be quite busy and in a hurry, and just bags under the eyes, that kind of thing. Just
going for weeks on 3 hours of sleep a night. Yeah, new parent.
That kind of thing. Yeah, he's just feeling a little rough, but nothing otherwise suspicious about it at all. It's just sort of a natural, exhaustion. Probably somewhat akin to what you guys are feeling right now.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Been better.
So as you're out on the pier here, you can see that there is a gate that has been erected between two towers, kind of into the port town proper, and sort of at word from the guard, kind of on your approach, they do kind of you don't hear like a locking at all, but there is some sort of pulse, and then they kind of slip open, and you don't see any locking mechanisms or bars or anything like that. It's almost like it's one sort of solid piece of thick oak wood that just splits into two and opens up.
Okay.
Clearly magic at work.
Look, is that kind of what you did to the doors downstairs?
Yeah, but like reverse.
Oh, okay. Cool. You're learning.
Yeah, no, this will be great.
We'll make a mage out of you at some point.
I'm doing my best, man.
All right.
Guess we'll make our way towards the berth.
Okay. Once inside the walls, there are pairs of guards kind of walking in very regular patrols that you can see. And there's another set of thicker walls kind of on the other side of this area of the port. But but rather than facing outward, they're kind of facing in, and they seem to be like a second set of defenses, kind of leading towards the the grounds and the mainland, towards the spire and towards the city of Morn. And every single tower and the parapets are armed with cannons, and you can see pairs of guards up above, some wielding crossbows, some wielding long, almost cannon-like looking apparatus, but even from this distance, you can see they've got a bit of a faint glow to them, and some kind of have some shimmering energy kind of coming off of them. And they've got these harnesses that are kind of almost like backpacks that have been fastened to them, and they're just kind of holding it up on one shoulder and just.
We've got magic bazookas. Is that what you're
kind of
telling me?
aiming around?
I was gonna say.
I hope they got hearing protection if those are going off right by their ear.
Craig,
Common
would Bairn know what those are?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
No. Okay.
These are some
These are different,
newfangled something or other. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, we'll totally be the tourists in Times Square and sort of going, hey, check out that. And that's kind of new, and just I'm surveying the whole area. What do you think that thing's for, D? And I'm pointing at the magic bazooka backpack thing.
I'm gonna guess that's pretty good at fighting off the black goo. At least I hope it is.
So what do you think? Is it like a hose, or is it a vacuum, or is it
well,
burning light?
I'm leaning more towards the burning light thing. Those seem to be like magic tubes, so black goo versus radiant damage. Yeah, I think light is probably the right direction.
Torque is just going to. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you, did I, Ian?
No.
Okay. I thought you were about to say something, so I didn't want to cut you off.
Nope.
Torque is probably going to make like Talon and just go straight for the berth.
Okay. As you're passing along the main thoroughfare, you do see these buildings, almost like dormitory style, that have been erected, and they are labeled as the prelatories. And you can see marked on many of the doors, you can see that there are emblems, holy symbols of many different gods and religions throughout the Isles. Can I get I'll get all of you to give me a religion check, actually.
Oh, right here.
It's my best roll of the night. Dinar gets a 19 plus 4 for 23.
I get a big old 10.
16.
But we're all exhausted, so disadvantage.
Oh,
right.
These are a disadvantage, yeah.
It might be less than a 10.
Hey, you still rolled a 14, so 18 total for Dinar.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Dinar
my,
gets an 18.
My nat 20 got balanced out by my 4. For
Oh.
I
5.
got a 6. So not 2 plus 4.
Okay, so 6 for Torque,
14.
Sorry. 14 for Talon. Fleck, what'd you say you got?
5. Big old sinker.
We don't even know what we don't know.
All right. So Torque and Fleck, you're not very familiar with
Not a particularly
most
pious
of
man.
these. Dinar and Talon, you would recognize a number of these. Talon, the first one that grabs your eye, obviously, is the golden tree of Marenta. Pretty prominent, pretty obvious. You also notice a symbol that's kind of like a bushel of wheat for Aradel, goddess of fertility. Both of you notice this. You see one for Kenneth, the god of commerce. Domarden, the god of justice. There's a 7-pointed golden sun that is for the Harunian faith, god of the sun. Number of different gods, most of them on the sort of benevolent or pragmatic side, and obviously none of the evil gods, as it were. But it's interesting to see all these different faiths represented, and these buildings that seem to be kind of constructed for representatives of them. You see, there's a few people kind of coming and going from the various buildings, wearing different garb, kind of associated with their different religions. It's quite a gathering. Seems a little bit unusual to have so many faiths represented in a port, a magic port, nonetheless.
Yep, pretty decorations.
I was gonna say, does this mean the Ivory Spire's gone all Benny from the Mummy?
Benny.
Yeah.
Raising up one symbol, shoot.
No,
Another one. No. Try them all, see which one sticks.
Greatest movie.
Not the worst strategy. That's
I mean, it worked.
It did.
Anyways, yeah, so that's something you notice as you kind of pass by, that there's a whole contingent of different religions present at the moment. As you pass by what previously was just sort of the general goods store, you can see now that it's got a sign outside that says Ivory Goods, and a familiar pale elven woman, tall, with that dark black hair, black eyes, wearing her finely etched fitted leathers, just kind of standing in the doorway, just kind of twirling a dagger in her fingers. And as you guys walk by, she takes a look at Torque and Dinar, and she just kind of goes, kind of like a wink of acknowledgement, recognition.
I mean, they do kind of stick out.
So Dinar's gonna lean over to Torque. Isn't that where you got your trident?
Bought weapons from her at some point.
Yeah, you got your trident here when you were in town before.
It's like episode 2.
name is Serena.
It was episode 2. Correct, Serena, yes. She just kind of gives a nod and just seems to be watching everything casually. The berth seems to be bustling as you enter.
What took you all so long?
You can, as you get closer, you hear the sound of much chatter and clinking of glasses and food and all sorts of stuff going on inside. Entering into the berth, it appears exactly as it did before, with the sort of that ambient music kind of playing from nowhere, the Everlight torches, the bar that's fashioned of planks sitting across kind of kegs as the stands for it. However, is much busier than you remember it, and seemingly larger on the inside than it was previously, even though the outside of the building has not changed. The interior seems to have expanded. There's a second floor. You can see stairs going up, a balcony where there seems to be some doors of rooms, and another hallway kind of leading back further in. You can smell sweet scent of various types of food from a kitchen kind of off to the left of the barn, and behind you can hear kind of sound of cooking and activity in the kitchen behind. Most of the occupants do seem to be members of the Ebon Guard, off duty. A couple that are on duty, they're kind of just standing on guard chatting. You do see all sorts of types. So there are some wearing different vestments and garments of magic users. There are a few who seem more like dock hands or kind of cargo workers, that kind of idea. But it is quite busy. Standing in behind the bar, again, not one of the bear folk, as you heard of the tragic passing of the bird's previous owner. You see a young orc with somewhat palish green skin, almost kind of pockmarked in some spots. Very, very black eyes. His hair's kind of got a bit of a bluish black tinge to it. It's kind of shaved on one side and kind of swept over and back. And he's wearing a leather jerkin that's much too small for him. He seems to kind of like busting out of it. And as you enter, he just kind of gives a nod. Hi, welcome to the berth. Find a seat if you can. There's probably some tables.
Over here.
One over in the back corner over there. If it's not clean, just give it a second. It'll clean itself.
That's a neat trick.
We'll be by for orders in a second. Just have a seat and we'll be right with you, eh?
My friends, you've arrived. This is a great place except for the music, as I remembered.
Yeah,
I'm exhausted. Can we get a room?
Yeah, just word to the wise. Remember that all discussions may be recorded for training purposes later. So it's just
That's a good way. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I was hoping I could learn a few things from the local people, but I don't want to start going around asking too many questions and, bother the people listening into our lives and violating our freedoms.
Yeah, that would be terrible, wouldn't it?
Well, given the circumstances, they're, I'm sure, well-intentioned. It's for the safety of the public.
Road to hell is paved with well-intentions, Dinar.
Yeah, I'm sure they will certainly relinquish their fascist control over this town as soon as the threat is passed, right? I'm sorry, did I say that out loud?
I know.
Hail Caesar.
Are you guys going to the bar asking for a room?
Yeah, I think we should get a room.
Yeah, Torque doesn't really know how to navigate this conversation, so he will go. He will go make the accommodations.
Awesome.
And
as you
order a
approach the
big
bar, then.
jug of water.
So the young orc kind of looks up at you. Hi. You need something other than food at the table. What can I do for you?
4 rooms would be preferable.
I ain't got 4. I've got 2.
How many beds in
Moments.
each?
I think one's got 3 beds in it. The other's got a couple.
We'll split
This-
2 and 2, sure.
Better than nothing, yes.
Sure.
We will take them.
You want meals included with that, or you want all separate?
Does Torque need a bed? Doesn't he just curl into his shell?
Tayland, we've been over this. He can't do that.
I can take a dresser drawer. It's cool.
The rooms are gold apiece for the night. If you want a meal with that, you add a half gold to 5 silver onto that per person.
I'll say with meals. I think we've all learned it at this point.
All right, 1/2 a gold coin coming right up.
All right,
Hold
so
it.
don't
that's
do that.
Everybody hold it still on the table.
Don't do
that's
that.
gonna be
with
2
the sword
gold for
away.
a room then, and another 2 gold for the 4 meals. So
Prop
4 gold
comedy.
altogether.
This is a new low for you, Talon.
So 4 meals and 2 rooms. That's 4 gold total for the 4 of you.
How are we divvying this up?
Hey, listen, you're covering crew expenses. The least I can do is look after the officers. I'll shell out the 4 gold.
All right.
Thanks, Flick. I'm not very liquid right now, except for this liquid.
Yeah, no, it's all good, man. One crew, right? That's the idea.
Tell me,
All
barkeep,
for
you got
one
any-
and one for all.
You got any bottles of Gungrim whiskey?
Yeah, I think I did got one.
How much you want for
Got
the
a
whole
few
thing?
left actually. They run for 10 gold.
Flick, can I borrow 2 gold?
Hey, Skipper, if you need your special booze, I got that covered.
Well, hey, I'll tell you what. Since you gotten,
Oh,
you got
wait.
2 rooms,
Can I borrow 6?
well, you gotten 2 rooms and meals on that as well. So we'll throw in the bottle for what do you got? You got 8 gold. So
Yeah.
the 8 gold, 1 bottle for you. It's a sign of my appreciation for your patronage and staying the night as well.
What if I write new songs for you to play over this blasted repeating nonsense?
Hey, that ain't up to me. That's just I don't even know how that thing works. It's kind of inherited it with the inn, you know. It's just I don't
It's
know
all
where it
part,
comes from. It's just sort of there.
part of the surveillance state, Talon. Let's just leave it alone.
It's just kind of there. I actually kind of forget about it most of the time until you point it out. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Takes like one of the bar rags and kind of like in his ear. Ugh. Yeah. All right, we'll grab a seat. Meals will be coming your way. Want anything else? Special drinks with the meals at all, or ales all around, waters?
Bernard's just gonna hold up his new bottle.
Yeah,
We'll
Captain's
take
got his-
some of that there whiskey.
No, this
The
one's
one
all
he's
mine.
got.
This one's all mine.
You got any more of that?
I got. Give me a second here. He kind of turns and he kind of opens the cupboard down below and looks.
Give me your strongest, biggest, cheapest drink.
Well, see, strongest and cheapest, those don't really go together. You want strong stuff, you gotta pay for it.
Well, that's not necessarily true. I went to a pub once where they just gave me turpentine.
We ain't gonna be serving any turpentine here. We like to keep our clientele alive.
Lightweights. Very well.
I mean, I got a bottle of really good brandy wine. It's 10 gold.
Ah, yeah, that sounds great. Hey, Flick.
Believe it,
Yeah.
believe it comes all the way from the Alfarin elves way up to the east. So
Ooh.
Ooh, fancy elf wine. Well, I can't let you go without that.
It'd go good with your book with all the weird elvish markings on it. I
Yeah,
assume that's
but-
what that is.
That stuff doesn't sit well. Dude, just set me up with like some good skunky ale and I'll be happy.
oh, I got a good stout ale. It's kind of meaty.
No, I need
heavy.
stuff that's got. Apparently, I need the stuff that's gone off for you hoity-toity types. So anything that's old and stale, hook me up.
The good old dip and sip.
You want me to get a bad keg open?
Yeah, I'll take some dregs.
Drinks.
You know, especially with extra floaties would be great.
You know what? Why don't you just get an empty keg and scrape whatever's on the inside with a knife and then spread that on some toast for our green friend here?
Well, I can't sell you expired ale. I'll tell you what, though. If you drink it, you hold her down, I'll pay you to go.
See, this is the kind of arrangement I love. Hook me up, sister.
And a glass of water for me.
I'm not sure if you noticed or not, but oh, guy.
Oh, yeah. What? I know.
Name's
Different,
Carvis.
species,
by the
different
way, so-
species are also confusing to me sometimes.
Sure. Just call me Carvis, okay?
Sure.
That'll be fine.
All right, Special K, hook me up
aside.
with the good stuff.
All right.
You're so
Just-
quick.
Keep it on the down, though, will you? Thanks. Can't get word out that I'm giving people expired ale.
Not a problem. We are the best at keeping secrets.
Yeah, usually the people who
Evidently.
say that. Usually, the people who say that are the ones who ain't. Anyway, meals will be head your way. Grab a table, grab a seat, and enjoy. All right, I'll be right with you. Just settle down in a second. Jeez.
Let's go have a seat.
Where we can raise our feet.
Hey.
Yeah.
That rhyme was pretty neat. Deet, 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 deet.
Jack, you cut out there when you started to speak.
That's okay. I'm just wondering what business we should discuss while we wait for the food to arrive.
Anything we don't want them to hear should be left for not here. You hear?
Here, here.
Aha.
So watch the conversation topics because we could be listened in on right now.
Well, we could discuss the finer points of gunpowder. We could potentially talk about wood consistency, or
those fancy
drinking game.
backpack bazooka guns they had up on the ramparts. Those are kind of neat.
Well, let's see if anybody here's got some cards, maybe some dice. We'll get a nice game going.
I've still got my deck of cards.
To be honest, I'm pretty much just going to drink until I'm ready to pass out and get some sleep.
They're a little waterlogged, but I left them in the sun to dry the other day. Torque will put down a very crinkly deck of cards on the table.
They're slightly bigger than they were before.
You know,
Stands about this tall.
They're all dog-eared. There's like blood splattered on the topmost card.
You do realize if you ever present that to any kind of professional game, they're just going to claim that they're all marked, which they clearly are, by the way. Various wrinkles on all of them. I'm fine. Just don't put those in front of any professional gambler if you want to keep your hide intact.
I don't know what professional gambler wouldn't have their own deck to provide, but I see your point.
I'm just saying. You wanted conversation. We're now talking about your really floppy, soggy deck of cards.
I should really invest in perhaps some sort of trunk to keep my belongings in when we're in the thick of it, as it were.
Humidor. Store them in your shell.
So what do you think the odds are that we'll be able to find any new recruits, given the current state of the city?
I don't know. Let's ask. Hey, yo! Everybody want a job?
I would prefer if we had shored up some more funds before we start advertising that we're hiring. Of course, this could all be a fool's errand, and given how thinly spread everyone in this town seems to be already.
Well, I think I think Easthold is still probably the best option if we're gonna really get, or maybe Tier, somewhere that's not a giant wizard megalomaniac fortress.
Yeah, but
Taylor, as you yell this out, a couple of heads do kind of look and peek in your direction. An individual that's kind of off in the back corner stands up, and you can kind of see them clearly for the first time. A towering green Dragonborn. Ooh. And she's got sort of like a really rusted kind of metal breastplate on. And it's like clearly like patched work, and some of the straps are kind of like, makeshift, and a honking huge saber like strapped to the side. And she just kind of like pushes her chair back and comes walking over. Big, like she's very tall, taller than Dinar, taller than Torque. And she comes and just kind of stands. You look for crew.
My, what big eyes you have.
You say anyone want work? You come on ship, you need crew, huh?
We currently have some vacancies available.
A katana, a good crew. Good for fighting too. Meat shield.
Do you have any previous crewing experience? Any ship names that we might recognize?
Great naval war stories.
Duh. I sailed aboard the Saber's wife. That one was more fishing boat than anything. But there's I've been so many ships before. Have you ever heard of the Intrepid Devil?
That we have?
We certainly have.
About 3-4 years ago, I sailed for a couple months with Intrepid Devil under a dwarf captain. Good, nice fellow.
Any particular reason you didn't stick with any of these ships? Specifically the Intrepid Devil?
I'm crew for hire. I come and go where I need to go, and people need extra hands on deck for passage from one city to another. Then that's what I.
So as long as we keep paying you, you'll keep staying with us.
As long as you are a good officer, it's a good crew, yeah.
Oh, we're a fantastic crew. We got the best captain you'll ever see. He's a war hero,
War hero. Which one is
Taylor.
captain?
How many times I gotta
Us,
tell you to stop introducing me as a war hero?
Taylor,
It's your best
why don't
quality.
you go
This one is captain. Bright skills.
Yeah. The one with the glowing
bartender
skin.
and see? I would say
Hello.
let's go check and see what's taking the food. If you would be so kind.
Sure, I guess. But I'm the only one who's knowledgeable on any of this stuff other than Dinar. I can see a good crew from 30 paces. This one here, it's a good crew.
Mr. Captain, what I call you?
My name's Dinar.
Dinar.
Yeah.
That homeland name. You from Dracor?
Mm. I was born there, yeah. But I prefer to, well, not prefer, but I consider myself to be from around here. South of here, but
Ah,
out here, not back there.
me too. Understand. I'm Kadana. I am a loyal crew. I fight well for you, Dragonborn. You are kin. Very shiny.
Yeah, yes, very shiny.
Can I roll insight to see what's happening right now
Is she totally flirting with him? Is what's
with disadvantage?
Yes, you absolutely may.
Okay, so with disadvantage, that's a 5.
The subtleties of Dragonborn conversation are not your strong point. You're disinterested, perhaps, and just kind of like whatever. So,
Yeah, I'm not
Yes.
so much interested in the interpersonal. I'm kind of trying to see if she's feeding us a line or whether she's actually if her stories of being crew on this number of ships and all that, whether her credentials
Sure.
are.
sure.
So is that also insight then?
Yes, it would be.
All right. Wabam! Solid 5.
Seems believable to you.
This
Yeah,
exhaustion
well-
is killing us.
Yes, well, fighting is well and good. Of course, there are other responsibilities on a ship as well.
Of
How are you
course.
with rigging? Any good with knots?
Very good. I can work all the sails that you need, rigging, anchors, any type of tech work you need.
What's your aim like? I kind of skipper the gunnery crew.
Oh, you mean what do you have? Ballista cannon?
Oh, we got a few, two pounders, 3-pounder broadsides, and then a couple of swivel guns.
That's nice armament.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
she's,
I can load cannon for you, carry lots of things, stuff them, but firing, not my thing. I like sword melee, get up close, prepare to see the enemy's eyes face to face. But I have friends in town who look for work as well. But one is very good with running guns and aiming and firing and all that stuff.
Are
How many
they?
do you need?
Prove 10, perhaps?
10. I know 2.
It would be a start.
Are they Dragonborn
Let's
like you?
No, one is dwarf, one is human.
ask them to meet us here tomorrow, once we've had the chance to sleep off our most recent excursion.
Ah,
Are you comfortable with a starting salary of 1 gold piece per day?
1 gold piece. More than I make on last job. Yes, I will take.
Why don't you come join us again tomorrow as well, and we'll resume this
Sure.
conversation when we have our wits about us. Looking over at
Sounds
Hayland.
good
Most
to
of us
Kadana.
will, anyway.
Kadana will see you tomorrow, I bring friends.
Mm.
You can call them Salty and Rumrat.
Sorry, salty and rum nut?
Rumrat.
Rum rat.
Is Rumrat the dwarf or the human?
That's human.
Yeah.
She likes
That-
her rum.
That subverts my expectations.
Gren is salty one. Because he has salt and pepper hair. Black and gray. He goes by salty. He's also kind of crusty. Like salt.
I'm sure that we will get along swimmingly. Well then,
Okay. I'll
Nice
see you
to meet
tomorrow, yeah?
Katana.
Katana. Not
Katana.
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 Katana is sword. They're not a sword. Come on.
Well, forgive me.
Kadana. Katana.
Kadana.
Pardon the accent makes it a T, but yes. Katana.
it's very, very harsh consonants.
It is very harsh. This continent is hard. Yes. Okay, I see you tomorrow. Enjoy, stay, drink. I bring friends. We work for you, good crew. Rather than sit in town and just do nothing. You're the
What
first ship to
is-
come by in a while, so eager
Dinar's
to get out to sea again.
gonna mutter under his breath in Draconic. Especially a town that's about to get swallowed up by black goo.
She kind of looks back at you and goes, "Oh, you told me about it. This stuff is crazy looking."
I'll
Or
respond.
leans in and adds in Draconic.
Oh, right.
Perhaps we shouldn't be spreading any more mass paranoia than is already present, Captain.
Oh, don't worry. Everybody here knows about black goo.
I will lean in and say in Goblin, y'all can bite my ass.
She looks at you and in perfect goblin replies, "You're not my type, but thank you."
All right.
Just what we need. Another green person.
I didn't even think about that.
We got skin and scales and shells. We got all the flavors of green. It's
They're all
great.
different variations of green, though. Yeah. it's
So
different
what is keeping our order, by the way? Now that I'm at the bar and checking into this.
It's being made fresh, and you can smell the delightful smells of fresh bread.
Hey,
Strong
place
cheese.
This is gonna be great. We've been eating.
You can smell,
Tack.
sautéed mushrooms and salted meat. There's smell
pork.
of fresh fried fish. Like there's quite a few different smells coming out, but it seems that this is rather than kind of your stale standard fare, that this food is being made fresh.
Satisfied, I will sit back down at the table. So they're making everything fresh. That's why it's taking so long. This is going to be great. But I got to tell you, as soon as we eat, we're going straight to bed. By the way, did we hire this person?
Well, that's up to the captain to decide, but she seems promising. And she also mentioned that she had friends who were looking for work as well. One of whom is also apparently a raging alcoholic, so you should get along swimmingly.
Well, not
Hey,
raging, just
I'm not
she
an
likes
alcoholic.
she
Sorry.
likes her rum.
Torque would not have said that if Kadana was still at the table. So I thought she left. My bad.
She just was standing there awkwardly. Like, oh, sorry, I go now. I leave you to conversation. I see you tomorrow. Eh? Okay.
I'm not going to go anywhere, but you don't have to talk to me anymore.
As a kind of the crusty sailor type, like social interactions, obviously not her strong point, but nonetheless, she
I'm not.
goes back and takes a seat.
I just self-medicate.
Seth, I think most alcoholics would be offended being compared to you. You're much worse.
What? No.
Speaking of,
I'm a fun guy.
Yes.
Speaking of unexpected visitors, should we have any sort of discussion about what transpired last night?
No.
At that,
All
Dinar
right.
pulls off the lid,
Nope.
the cork from his whiskey, and starts drinking.
Glad we're all in agreement then. Just thought I'd do my due diligence.
Jeez, you guys need to sort out your issues. Man, I'm feeling like super well adjusted suddenly. This is great. Listen, you guys can enjoy your fresh food. I'm gonna go root through the dumpster, see if I can find something worth eating.
All right, Flick. Have a good meal.
I'm looking forward to diving into the bed upstairs as soon as we get that meal.
I did just row a ship for about 48 hours with minimal interruption. I imagine I will probably be out like a light as well.
As it happens, I'm barely staying awake as it is. Drinking makes me a little sleepy.
Don't expect any of us to carry you to bed.
No, you got to get there on your own.
Well, hey, look, you know what? If it really comes down to it, I can just make myself go to sleep. I learned some new lullabies recently.
Captain, if there's any other business to attend to tomorrow, I think it would be best to perhaps provide a distraction for Tayland and possibly Flick as well, while we vet the potential recruits.
Why do I need a distraction? I have, and I'll have you know, an egregious amount of willpower.
I feel like
I just don't let it get in the way.
I feel like I can speak openly about this, Captain, because I don't think he'll be retaining much of this information tomorrow.
You're probably right.
Is there any...
I've got a mind like a steel sieve. Wait.
I bet you do. Yeah. Your self-awareness is
Just sift through that one for a
top
minute.
notch.
So then, itinerary for tomorrow. 2 more potential recruit interviews. Possibly a meeting with Duan Ganymede if this individual can find the time. And then there's, of course, overseeing the necessities of our resupply.
Yeah, we could send Talon down to deal with that.
It's Nar, when I look at you through the bottom of this glass, you look even shinier.
Yes, it's a magic trick. We could send him down to acquire more food and drink, which will probably mean more drink than is necessary, but it's a relatively
That's an oxymoron.
harmless task for him to accomplish so that we can deal with the more pressing matters.
I would recommend sending Flick along as well, just because I trust him more with the finances.
I do trust Flick more with the finances, but I like his judge of character too. So, maybe I escort Flick. You are the quartermaster after all. I trust your judgment.
I appreciate this, Captain. Once the vetting process is done for this batch of candidates, there is one other thing that I will need to discuss with you afterwards, although I would prefer for it to be in private.
Like off the
Well,
island,
as
private?
you know, it ain't going to be private as long as you're anywhere in the vicinity of this place. Unless you got some special spells, Dinar.
Well, we can cross that bridge when we get to it then.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I've crossed a bridge in a very long time.
I'm sure you've burned your share.
I'm not really a fire person.
No angry bridges in your past?
Can I use counterspell on Talon's drunkenness?
No.
Remove
No.
poison.
I'm going to say neutralize poison. would be the way
Yeah,
to go.
neutralize poison would work.
Unless the restoration, they'll probably get the job done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything that counteracts poison, usually.
Destroy water, targeting his liver.
Yes, at this point, Flick wanders back in. Can you believe they threw out a whole chicken? And it's like you can smell it as he walks in. It's like it's off.
As you walk back in, Carvis behind the bar just kind of goes,
Well, I see a banana
"Yes,
peel
if
on
you're
his
eating
plate.
it, then
I see a banana peel on his plate on the side, so at least we know he's getting his dietary fiber.
This helps it sluice right through, man.
To the future, whatever it might hold, wherever it may take us, at least we'll have each other.
I'll drink
Here,
to
here.
Cheers to that. And
Flick,
Raise
eat
one
that as
for,
fast as possible.
one more for Miss Kuna, the former proprietor of this establishment.
Yes.
Oh.
And actually, I'll raise my voice a little bit. Hey, let's everyone raise a glass. Here's to Kuna.
a couple of them are like, oh. Whereas like some of the others who are clearly more established in
The
town
older
go,
regulars.
"Aye." One just starts sobbing openly. I never expressed my love.
So here's a health to the company, and one to that lass. Let us drink and be merry, all out of one glass. Let
Oh,
us drink and be merry, oh grief to refrain. For we may or might never all meet here again.
Just sanitize the glass between uses.
Exactly.
COVID. All right. Well, as you finish your meals and enjoy your drinks and prepare to catch some much needed rest in the evening to prepare for what awaits you the following day, we will close tonight's session there.
Long rest?
Long rest.
I would hope so, yeah.
Absolutely.
Hooray!
No nighttime
Thanks.
assault. Well, that's
No,
No, that's
nighttime
not
assault. Oh man.
But yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone. Again, if you haven't yet, join our Discord. Come and hang out, and also good chats in there, some good times to chat about anything and everything. And we can do some. If you have any questions about stuff that's going on in world lore or episodes, any remarks or anything you want to make, anything at all, that's a good chance for us to kind of hang out as community and chat and bring it up. So please do join our Discord, and don't forget to follow us on all the socials and here on Twitch so that we can kind of get our count up and get the word out there and become awesome. I mean,
We're not awesome already?
we need
Awesomer.
small a, we need capital A awesome.
become publicly awesome.
Awesome
Officially-
possum. Super
officially
awesome.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. I see.
Spossum.
This
Yeah.
is
Um,
an incredibly 2009 conversation all of a sudden.
totally is, isn't it, right? Awesome, bro. Anyways, thanks for joining us, and until we see you next time, happy gaming. We'll catch you then.
Bye.
Bye.